Don't teach your kids to be weak. Don't teach your kids to be weak. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip.
We are a very sensitive culture, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, I think I don't understand it. It's like peeling your skin off yourself and exposing yourself to the world. Like you can hurt me. Try to offend me. Try. I'm not. You know, if anybody can offend you, everybody can own you. I don't want nobody owning me but me. And all these trigger warnings. And I guess, you know, we should be kind and polite and all this kind of stuff. But don't teach your kids to be weak. And my parents didn't allow it. They didn't care. The teacher wasn't nice to me. She didn't put me in reading group 1. They never did because it was a squeaky mommy thing. They said, did you get 100 on your test? No, I don't want to talk to you then.
Don't teach your kids to be weak. We often hear Anton always say F your feelings. I know Trigger Mike was on the panel where he's talking about, I guess, like therapy. And then occasionally on different panels, we hear people express that men should be a little bit more vulnerable. They should get in their emotions. I'm just curious to see what the panel think. If the old school way is better, should we be switching up to allow for more emotional kids, emotional men? Let's talk about it. Don't teach your kids to be weak. Who wants to go ahead and tackle this first?
I don't think any kid should be or learn how to continue to be emotional, because kids are automatically emotional because they're learning, they're growing. But to continue to have them behave that way is going to create them to have an unstable mind. Because if you have emotions and you let your emotions run your decision making, you're going to make bad decisions. So we need to teach them how to be more logical.
Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today.
I agree. I have 2 sons, and I know I have my limits as a woman because a man should really teach a man how to be logical. I think women, we teach our sons and they tend to be weaker because we're emotional and they pick up on those cues. And I see them, sometimes being a little weak. I said, put some bass in your voice, boy. Or, I try to let them like get strengthened and all that stuff. But I think it's more of a man's job to encourage a young man to be strong and not to be weak, because this world is not nice.
All right. Go ahead, Ali.
Like we said before, I think we discussed on some of the panels or earlier panels about mental health, right? No one's coming to save you. And everything we have in the result in our life is what we invest in and what we produce and what we fight for. And the rest of everything else is what you give up on or what you settle for. So if you ever saw anyone use that word, given the society we live in, if you ever see anyone use that word or profess that word, then we get used to that. If you live in an environment where you always have to be strong and you always see someone producing and there's never a reason to be weak, that you don't even know what that means. So I believe when you settle for something that really truly doesn't exist, because we're all here to produce, from nature to the sun, to the earth, to the water, everything's here to produce. There's no such thing as weakness. And I know there's a quote I heard before is pain is weakness leaving the body. So when you're producing, it's inevitable. You're going to feel pain. and that's just weakness leaving the body. So we know you don't teach weakness; you teach strength.
Oh yeah, indeed. This is a good topic. So I have some notes. All right. So obviously, this whole talk about, weakness and strength, I think we got to understand what weakness is first and how it relates to, modern society. So it starts with the boys. For boys, codependency is weakness. And for girls, strategic dependence, or rather partnership, is their strength. Right. So it starts with the fathers in the home providing discipline to the kids. And we've come to a point in society where women dictate how discipline is supposed to be done, which is why society is suffering. All right. So women are not supposed to agree or even understand how fathers and men discipline boys. But since women have most of the hand in that, they got custody of the children. That's why we see society suffering in the way that it is. As I said again, it definitely starts with the boys. When I look at the way I was raised, the world now would call it harsh. They would call it abusive. No, I 100% believe it was exactly what was needed to make sure that I was accountable for my family at all times, right? That I was always going out there to, get my gold star by continuing to meet the standards that society had set for me and the expectations that my wife would have of me as a man.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Lego.
The number one thing that women teach their children when there's no man around is to be risk avoidant. And one of the biggest problems young people, especially young people these days, they are afraid of messing up. They're afraid of missing out. They're afraid of everything. And that is the biggest weakness, in my opinion, because as children naturally love to explore, find out new things, right? But if you're taught to fear everything, every time you reach out to do something, here comes mom, no, don't do that. I don't want you to get hurt. No. You actually become fearful because you're being taught to fear. So children are being taught to fear as the generations move forward, and it's mainly because all the single mother households. Because even back then when it was single mother households, it was a culture that taught even the women to send your kids outside to go play. These days, kids don't even go outside to play anymore. So even the streets can't even make you tough. So that's the reason why it's so different now, because kids are no longer outside as much and they're up under their mother, just like they were when we were young.
This is why men should be in the house, because there are women who are naturally emotional, but the man can help the woman not be emotional. And then the woman can learn how to execute that on her kids. But if you keep taking the man out of the house, you and your kids going to be emotional, and it's going to be terrible for you to, have that in a society for yourself and your sons, your daughters, whoever it is that you're raising. So let's keep the men in the house.
All right.
I wanted to say, as far as fear, you have to have a respectable fear for your parents. Like if you don't have fear for your parents, something is wrong. Like something is madly wrong, because you have to have some type of fear within your parents. And like I said, it has to be a respectful fear. You have to know that when they cut their eyes at you a certain way, you straighten up. And if you don't, there's going to be further consequences. You have to know that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then you're not going to get X, Y, and Z. Kids are not outside nowadays because the outside is in the inside on devices. Kids don't stay out till the street lights come on no more. Their lights are on their LED devices and in their beds with them and in their pockets with them. So, when I was growing up, this was blocked. That's blocked. You don't have access to this. You don't have access to that.